don't talk while I'm talking. This is literally what he meant when he said to Piers Morgan this. Let's take a listen.
So if we, Andrew Feinstein and his team mainly, but if I can help him, I will, get a majority of the people to vote for him, to Feinstein, instead of Starmer, to forget the general politics of the United Kingdom for a moment and to accept that the most important thing that we're all fighting for at the moment is around Gaza and around the extermination of the people of Palestine, because what we're fighting for is the soul of the human race. We're fighting to try and achieve a future where we understand that things like right and wrong exist, and we have to stand up for the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. No, not yet. Andrew Feinstein will, and Keir Starmer won't. We know Keir Starmer's a bought man. I wouldn't believe him, if... Well, we know Keir Starmer. We've known...
Well, George Galloway last week told me he would trust Vladimir Putin over Keir Starmer.
Okay, so the trust part will come in a second, but let's talk about this. So Piers Morgan, he wanted to interrupt him, wanted to make him stop from talking more, and then he was like, no, not yet. It's not your time, so don't talk over me. Now, let's talk about trusting Keir Starmer over Putin. Let's talk about that one. So let's play the video.
Would you?
Did he? Well, obviously, you only have to listen to what the two men say.
You would believe Putin over Starmer?
Why not? But why would they be having a conversation about anything apart from let's make Ukraine into a NATO country, which...
Well, we'll come to Ukraine. Can I just pick you up on one thing you said? We have to have a conversation.
I haven't finished about Andrew Feinstein. Excuse me. So that's deeply important. There are others. There are two young women who I interviewed a couple of days ago.
Okay, so I'll play the rest of the video in a second, but this is very, very important for me to show because I might forget. So what happened? So basically, Keir Starmer, right? He's someone who Piers Morgan believes and trusts more than Putin, or maybe perhaps anybody else, because it serves his purpose, which is the propaganda, the agenda of the Zionist regime. So Piers Morgan believes in that regime, in that propaganda, and obviously Keir Starmer is with that agenda, even though he says that, oh, no, we're going to stop supporting Israel. But these are all on the surface. In the back door, he is supporting Israel 100%. It's just like Biden saying, oh, we're going to stop or pause shipment of weapon to Israel. And then the next thing you know, Israel is receiving even more. So Keir Starmer, Joe Biden, these people, whenever they talk, especially about Israel and Gaza, they lie. Now, it is not only the problem with people like Roger Waters, but it is a problem with all of us. I'm talking about Keir Starmer and his loyalty to humanity. He is not loyal to humanity. He's loyal to, you guessed it right, to Zionist. His own wife, let's take a listen here. Meet Keir Starmer's Jewish wife bringing Shabbat to number 10 Downing Street. Now, this was published on Jerusalem Post, not coming from me or you. She is a Jew herself, and she is going to be bringing Gaza inside Downing Street, 10 Downing Street. No, she is going to be bringing Judaism. She's going to she'll be bringing Zionism, not Palestine, not humanity. So people who have problem with Keir Starmer being someone who, they think, oh, most trustworthy than Putin, they should really pay attention to this. Now, this is coming from another person. She wrote, Keir Starmer, a non-Jewish Zionist, knighted by the British establishment and endorsed by the Sun, he has shown that he constantly lies and openly supports an ongoing genocide. He gives me the creeps and I don't trust the guy. This is coming from who? Coming from general people. It is not coming from George Galloway. It is not coming from Roger Waters. It is coming from people like you and me. They're tweeting, they're posting, and they are telling us their view about Keir Starmer, which is that they don't trust him. Now, take a look at this one also. Recently, we have seen him saying that Israel has the right to defend itself. It means to withhold food, water, and medicine from children trapped in a war zone. This is Keir Starmer. So do you trust him over Putin? I will let you do the judgment. Then you also have people posting on this one. So he came out after the victory, Labour victory in UK, and he said that his party, Keir Hill's party's clear mandate, okay? Keir hails party's clear mandate. But take a look at this, the whole tweet here. She just nailed it. Sir Keir Starmer lie count. Number one, we have a clear mandate. Fact check. Labour secured just 34%, 1 in 3 of the vote. So this is how Keir Starmer, he is lying all the time, including the election victory, the election win. So when Roger Waters was challenged by Piers Morgan and he was shocked, oh, you trust Putin over him? Roger Waters did not take even millisecond to say, yeah, I do. I mean, Keir Starmer is not being trusted by his own people, not by me, not by anybody. Maybe some Zionists like yourself and his wife, they will trust him, but not me.
When they're up, Double Down News, man. Go check it. All right. Okay, one is called Fiona Lally, and she's a young... Well, I think you've spoken to her. Maybe you have, maybe you have. And then there's Leanne Mahmud, who's standing in North Ilford, okay? And then there's my friend Craig Murray, who's standing up in... how many holes are there? Blackburn, Lancashire. See, I went to the Beatles
You're a Beatles fan, you see?
You have to. And whatever. And George, obviously, is in Rochdale, is he? So I'm if I can help swing any of those constituencies towards these people who believe in human rights, away from somebody like Starmer or Wes Streetley, who don't believe in human rights, they just don't. You have to look at their record and you say, yes, you may speak.
So yes, you may speak. Like, don't speak when I'm speaking. I'm Roger Waters. And to me, looks like, Piers Morgan, he did respect Roger Waters, because Roger Waters was just decimating. He was just eviscerating Piers Morgan so calmly, so politely. Piers Morgan even did not perhaps realize the extent of evisceration that took place. He was like, maybe, you're just shaming me, you're just stripping me naked in front of my camera. And he didn't even realize. But Roger Waters, quite calmly, and I really loved the way he talked, he just destroyed Piers Morgan, the like I have never seen in my life.
I understand that, that you and many people share your view that they believe that Israel is perpetrating a genocide on Gaza. And you talk about wanting to eliminate the people of Gaza. But surely that clip that I played, when you talk about the Israelis having to go back to where they come from.
If they could apologise for what they do. Obviously,
but Roger, let me ask a question.
Okay.
On that point of wherever you come from, back to Eastern Europe, wherever you come from, to tell 7 million people to go back where they come from, many people would view that as racist, and in the case of Israelis, to be anti-Semitic, something you've been accused of being. Now, do you understand why they would take it that way?
Absolutely, of course I do. We have to remember that most of the population of Israel are young, much younger than me, even younger than you, if such a thing was possible. And they have been pretty well brainwashed into believing that they are superior to the other people who live there. And I have to say, the thing about Eastern Europe or Northeastern Europe and the United States, they've tried to sell us this idea that somehow they are biblical people and that God has given them the land. That's what the Christian evangelicals believe.
Well, look,
all I'm saying is that they're not indigenous people, most of them. There are a few of the Jewish people who are citizens of Israel who are indigenous to the area. But back in the 19th century, that was only 7 or 8% of the population.
Can I respond?
Yes, of course.
So ancient Egyptian records mention Israel from 1213 BC. Religious literature records Israelites as far back as 1500 BC. As far as many Jewish people are concerned, this is where they come from. Right, within Judaism, Israel is the Holy Land. It's the land where the faith began. Jerusalem is the holy city. For Jews, Jerusalem is at the core of their faith and their world. Now, I believe you're an atheist. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So you may not understand or accept that, but that is how millions of people in Israel feel. They believe this is their original Holy Land. Now,
not absolutely. Historically, it was never Israel's holy land. It was the land of the Palestinians. You can do your own research. Do your research. Don't go and find articles from Zionist newspapers, but do an like open-minded research. You'll know.
I think that the displacement of the Palestinians back in 1948 was appalling. I also think the simultaneous virtually displacement of many Jewish people from their homes was also appalling. All of it was appalling. And you can create a narrative that would be supportive of both sides and critical of the other sides. But
and the biggest example of that is that I claim that Jew people, they did not belong to Israel, the land of Palestinian, is take a look at their situation. Were they in were they in Palestine before 1948? Yeah, some of them were, but they did not have a homeland. So how can it is possible that Canadians found themselves after so many centuries in Europe, and then they're fighting and going back to Canada, saying that, oh, people kicked us out, now we're back? How is it even possible? Like, how would you allow people to kick you out of Canada only for you then to realize, oh, you were Canadian, so now go back to Canada? I mean, in the history of mankind, I have never seen something like this, especially if you are claiming to be native, if you are claiming to be indigenous. It is not possible that people will uproot you, avulse you from your holy land or from your land, motherland, and then you will find out after generation after generation that, oh, that kind of Canadian land, the Israeli land or Palestinian land, it belonged to us at one point in time. This is something so preposterous, makes no sense at all. But for Piers Morgan and the Zionists, it does make sense. They were wandering around the world, never found a place, they never had one, and then all of a sudden, because Arthur Balfour told them, this is the land, you go back, they are now claiming, oh, this was our land from the very beginning, and that we are chosen by God. Something that is absolutely absurd and very, very unbelievable.